Hello everyone, my name is ColdHaven, and today I kind of wanted to talk to anybody that is watching this to let them know exactly what I have planned for my channel. One of the things that I think would be a fair question to ask me is why bother? I'm like a 41-year-old man at this point. A lot of the YouTubers that are doing it are much younger, have much more enthusiasm, and it doesn't take but a few seconds to see who the most popular ones are. That's not my aim. You know, I don't want to get rich and famous. I started this, believe it or not, and I don't mean to name drop, but it actually motivated me, is watching YouTubers like Jacksepticeye and watching Mark and Ethan on Unus Annus, because they helped me break out of a shell that, and I hate using that term, but it kinda is accurate. I am a kind of person that likes to grow, likes to constantly be achieving something better. But like many of us, I struggle against self-doubt, anxiety, and pressures like that. It can be difficult. So I decided to do this. And I already play video games, so why not extend a hand to a community of people that like the same games that I do, that have the same interests that I do. I love sci-fi. It's probably my most favorite of all the genres. I like fantasy. I play D&D and love those type of movies and read Lord of the Rings like the best of them, but sci-fi, I think, is different in the fact that it looks forward. And whether or not it's through the view of a dystopian, destructive world that tries to show us how things could wind up, like a cautionary tale, or whether or not it's hopeful, like Star Trek, where we see a universe where there are difficulties, there are always going to be troubles, there's always going to be something that overshadows the good, but in the long run, that humanity struggled and came together, I think is one of the greatest victories in sci-fi that I can think of. It gives us hope. It gives us hope for human ingenuity, for compassion towards each other, and extending beyond our tribal mentalities that we've adhered to, whether that's something that is ingrained in us from our childhood, is genetic, I'm not exactly sure, but to see that and just dream, that's awesome. It's one of the reasons I like Andromeda, and I know that's a very unpopular opinion, and I don't really expect to get many views off of it, especially since how much hate it received at the very beginning, and I agree. I didn't like it when it first came out. I pre-ordered it and I was so disappointed, but I gave it a fair shot. It came out on PC and I was like, I think they deserve another glance, so that's why I did it. It wasn't to get views, it wasn't to because I thought that it was going to help me get subscribers or anything like that. I don't. Anything that I play right now, I don't exactly believe its heyday has already gone. Like Battlestar Galactica, the series it was based on was in the early 2000s. And Deadlock, though a very popular game, came out 2 years ago, and the player base is there, but you go to Steam and you'll see that there's not that many. Not like playing some of the most recent, like Death Stranding that's came out. And I could very easily play Death Stranding. and do a stream on, well, not do a stream, but do videos on it. I mean, I have it. I've been waiting for it, and I was enthusiastic whenever I found out that it got released on Steam. And I could do that. But I'm not. Not yet. I've already committed to several types of videos right now. I had just finished up Observation, and we're going to be doing Andromeda and Battlestar Galactica. But to get back to my point, Andromeda shows the unity that humanity can foster for each other. An initiative to come together. Look at Mass Effect 1 through 3. You had nothing but disagreements, arguments. Nobody was willing to help each other. It was a cautionary tale about what happens whenever a looming crisis presents itself, and we don't rise to the occasion together, uniformly, to combat it. But Andromeda's different. Andromeda is more of a hopeful new beginnings. In a lot of ways, I believe it was intended to be that way, that it was going to be a new trilogy, and whether they continue it or not, I'm not sure. At this point, it probably isn't, but as a standalone game, I think that it is very hopeful, and the mood and tone of the story reflects a similar feeling. Now, Battlestar Galactica is a cautionary tale, and I love the series. I was so late to coming to it. In fact, the only reason I even knew about it all was because I saw it on Steam, and I was doing research for a book that I'm writing, and it seemed like the right thing, because I needed to know how to do space strategy. And I like strategy. I play XCOM and games like that. So I gave it a shot. You know, I knew it was based on a franchise, but I'd always heard that it was kind of corny, not realizing that the Battlestar Galactica from the 70s was different from the ones from the reboot. Battlestar Galactica, it centers in on what happens when desperation on both sides occurs. Both are fighting for their own survival. The colonies and the Cylons. Both of them feel threatened. And both of them do things that are abhorrent and wrong to each other in the name of that survival. So the takeaways from that game, I think, are very relevant to today, just as they were when they were written for the reboot. So that's why I play those games. I played Observation because it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's a puzzle game. I don't mind that. I like puzzle games. For what it was, I think it was an excellent game, and one that I didn't think got a lot of attention. The reason I do it is to break out. I remember when I was younger, I got an early electronics kit from Radio Shack. It was I liked tech even back then, and my parents had got me a kit that would let you put together different things depending on how you put the wires together on the board. It could, it gave you instructions, and you were able to create certain devices, like a listening thing. I think it came with like a little ear thing that you could put in it and extended your hearing. Don't think my parents knew I had that one, or that was part of the kit, but that was useful for staying out of trouble. But one of the things that I found out about it was the transistor radio, that you could send out signals. And me and my friends, I put together this, not really knowing the science about it. I mean, I was like 9 years old, but I tried to construct a radio tower, and me and my friends kind of, I guess you would say, did a really immature broadcast that probably didn't extend past the walls of my house. And later on, I got interested in CB radios and things like that. So doing YouTube is a kind of an extension of my interests from my childhood. As I got older, I loved playing with Movie Maker, and I did things with stills and you know, very uncomplicated stuff. So bringing all those interests together, with my love of writing, my love of stories, it just seemed like something that was positive, that could be positive in my life. And that's kind of what I want to promote with my channel, is positivity. A lot of things that I see going on right now I don't like, and I think that we need positivity more than anything, and I think we can help each other with that. I would like to get to know the community more, and I've been trying to do that, and feedback is important to me, positive or negative. And if you or anybody who watches this, I mean, gives a like, a dislike, leave a comment and tell me, you know, hey, this could be done better. I'm receptive to that. As a writer, you have to be receptive to critique, and you have to make the final decision about what you're going to do in your writing. So it's no different here. If there's a certain series that y'all would want to see and have me play later on, I'm receptive to that as well. But my audience is primarily for science fiction in all its forms. You'll see things that are first-person shooters, strategy games, puzzle games, anything that falls within the realm of sci-fi. That's kind of where my channel is. And I will continue to play the things that interest me the most. Right now, my channel, I post about once a week on Wednesdays, usually about around noon, a little bit earlier if I can. I might, in the future, try to extend that to 2 times a week. It depends on what my schedule is, because I do have a full-time job on top of this. A lot of times that's the brick wall that many YouTubers run into, is they have to have money to pay for their house and their food and utilities and all that. So they have a job. And like a lot of writers too, and a lot of artists, they lend their time to the things that they enjoy. It's funny, you know, at first I felt so timid to talk and to make mistakes on video. When I got a better film editor, I felt a little bit more comfortable. It's taken a lot of time. I have a lot of anxiety about talking in front of people. But I'd really like to see the community of sci-fi grow. I think right now we're facing difficult times. And I have a feeling it's only going to get rougher. So I would like like-minded people to be able to come to my channel and hopefully, you know, forget about that for a little bit. I want them to be able to enjoy a genre that I enjoy, and hopefully I can make it entertaining, because I think a lot of us need that right now. There's been so much negativity. We just need something positive, and it's out there. It almost seems like everything is so saturated with negativity that it's hard to come up for air. I've had to tell myself to come up for air. It wasn't good for my health. It's not good for my mental health. Ignoring it's not a solution, but gotta know when to say when. Just realize life should be enjoyed too. And we can enjoy it together for a few minutes at a time at least. It's kind of all I wanted to say at this point. Might reach absolutely nobody. That's fine, because at the very least it helps me set a direction for my channel and for myself. I'll continue to write, I'll continue to do YouTube, and I'll continue to work, and hopefully everything will be okay. So until next time, stay safe. I'll catch you later.